Isang linggo na lang at mag-uumpisa na ang 2022 Winter Olympics sa Beijing, China. Dahil dyan, makasama natin ngayong hapon ang nag-iisang Pinoy Winter Olympian ngayong taon na si Asa Miller. Panoorin natin, teammates, ang panayam sa kanya ni Ira Dalaw dito sa Sports Chat.
Kulang-kulang isang buwan mula ngayon, muling lalaban ang Pilipinas sa pinakamalaking multisporting event sa mundo. Pero sa pagkakataong ito, sa larangan naman ng Winter Olympics, kung saan makakakwentuhan natin ngayong hapon ang nag-iisang pambato ng bansa na si Asa Miller. Good afternoon and welcome to PTV Sports, Asa.
Well, thank you.
Yes, how are you feeling right now? It's a few weeks before your campaign in the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics officially starts. How are you feeling right now?
Oh, I'm doing really good. I finally had my first competitions a few days ago of the season. It took a bit longer than usual, but it's nice to compete and kind of knock the rust off and get prepared for the Olympics next month. So I'm feeling pretty good going into it. Excited for it to come. Can't come sooner, to be honest.
All right, you've mentioned you had your competitions. How was your assessment from your performance in these competitions?
My performance the last few days, it was less than I was hoping for, but first competition of the season, just getting back into the groove of it. And I feel like I have a better grip now of my abilities and what I need to focus on in the competition this year, since it has been quite a while since my last event.
All right, like our other Tokyo Olympians, we know it's not easy preparing for the game in the middle of a pandemic. Can you share to us the most challenging part of it?
The most challenging part since COVID started would definitely be the travel. I have traveled quite a bit, usually driving long ways to different competitions on my own, like 8-10 hour drives to different places, California, across the United States where I live. And so that would probably be the biggest challenge during COVID. But given that skiing is an outdoor sport, we have had pretty little effect on the actual competition and skiing.
All right, this will be your second time donning the national tricolors in the biggest multi-sporting event. What kind of Asa should we expect this time around?
Well, 4 years later, I hope that I put on a bit of wisdom. I'm more experienced than before. And being 17 at last time, I felt like I was very young and just didn't have a lot of experience. And 4 years later, I'm hoping to put on a better performance athletically. I have more wisdom and more tools I can use in competition that I think will help my success overall.
All right, from your previous Winter Olympics, which was on 2018 Pyeongchang Games, you joined in a giant slalom where you finished 70th out of 110 participants. But now you are qualified for that event and also in slalom. How big of an achievement is this for you? And was this really your goal to qualify for these two events?
Yeah, it's definitely my goal to qualify for these two. I'm super excited. I mean, I've been waiting 4 years for this opportunity to come again. And the fact that I'll be competing in GS and slalom this time around, I'm very excited, very stoked. GS is my specialty, but slalom I've also very much enjoy as a discipline. And I can't wait to show what I can do in both events.
All right. From the last 2018 Pyeongchang Games, you've mentioned from your last interviews in it that you've been you've been trying to strengthen your mental capabilities in terms of your competitions. What's the update on this? Have you been working on that? Have you worked that out already with yourself?
Yeah, so I've talked to some sports psychologists, and I feel like with the more experience and more competitions in the last 4 years, I've definitely improved my mental game as well as my technique overall. And I feel like I've definitely made solid progress in the last 4 years since I last spoke about it. And here we are now.
All right. So are we gunning for gold this time?
I'm not going to set too many performance expectations, but I'm certainly hoping to make an improvement.
All right, aside from the competition itself, Asa, you will also be battling with COVID-19 here. With that, can you share to us the personal safety precautions you do to keep yourself healthy, especially your physical health?
Well, there's certainly different precautions that we take. Being an outdoor sport, it's a lot easier to space each other out and not have as many issues with COVID. That being said, it is keeping healthy, staying away from big crowds, and skiing only with my small group of teammates and not branching out too far. So before then, I hope to stay healthy and then bring my best to the games.
Okay, how about Filipino dish? Any Filipino dish that
Filipino
you
dishes,
tasted and loved?
I mean, chicken adobo is obviously like universal, but it is my favorite by far. My mom would always make panzit when I was a kid, but I'm not sure. But those are probably my two favorites.
When was the last time you visited here in the Philippines?
It would have to be 2019. It's been a little bit since COVID.
2019, that's pre-pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. Since COVID started, it's hard to travel as much.
Okay, but how many times have you been here in the Philippines?
Probably 5 or so.
Okay, and do you get in touch with your family or relatives here?
Yeah, we speak pretty often. They live in Manila, so when we do visit, we go to Manila and see all of them.
Do you have any plans to visit here in the Philippines after the Winter Olympics, and hopefully when the COVID, of course, situation is gotten better here in the Philippines?
Yeah, after the games last time, I came to the Philippines and I did some media tours and things like that. So I'm sure something similar will happen after the games this year.
All right. Lastly, Asa, your message to everyone, to your coaches, NSA, supporters, family, and also, of course, the Filipino people who will support you all the way from here, the Philippines.
Well, firstly, I'd like to thank everybody for the support, especially those who have paid attention to my journey since the last 4 years, since I first started 4 years ago and made my first Olympic appearance. It means a ton to continue to ski and do what I do and represent the country of the Philippines and my family in that back home. So overall, I just like to thank everybody for the support. It's been overwhelming, and thank you. That's it.
Thank you so much, Asa, for timing with us in PTV Sports. We wish you well and the very best of luck in Winter Olympics.
Thank you so much.
At yan po, teammates, ang nag-iisang pambato ng bansa sa Winter Olympics na si Asa Miller. At ako po muli si Ira Dalaw at ito po ang Sports Chat.